Hey guys, what's up? Happy New Year. In this video, I'm just going to talk about how to pay real property taxes online, and this is for Makati. So the purpose of this video, how to pay real property tax for 2021 in Makati. Of course, the benefits, what's in it for you is you have the convenience of online at home, not shopping, online at home payments, wherever you are, to print the billing statement to pay. And then of course you'll skip the long lines at City Hall. I remember going to City Hall and the lines are so long just getting your assessment. After you get assessment, then you have to fall in line again to do the payment, right? So you'll be able to skip that. And of course, given these hard times, you know, there's COVID and stuff, this reduces the risk of you getting in contact with a lot of other people out there. So anyway, and here's a few disclaimers. This is what I experienced doing the process itself. You know, it's not. I'm just sharing what I went through, and this is only for Makati City. Not all cities have something like this. So specifically only for Makati if you own property in Makati. And then this assumes that your account is current, that you've fully paid for the previous periods. And this is also assuming that you are paying before the deadline. So if you're going to pay post the deadline, you might have to check with City Hall what happens then. Anyway, so let's go through the process. The first step is to first do the printout of the billing statement. So to do that, you have to get your previous tax declaration or your previous receipt that you have for your real property tax from City Hall. You can go online, then after you have those documents, because you need to get the tax declaration number from those documents, any of those two documents, then next step is you go online at this website called MakatiOnlinePayments.com. I just forgot to mention, you don't have to memorize all of this because I'll clearly list out the steps and put it in the video description so that you can easily follow them, even the links. So you go online in Makati Online Payments, and then you press the search button. There's one button, then search. And then there'll be a search form. And in the search form, it will say there, the first field is what will you pay? So you make sure you select real property tax. That's usually the default selection. And then the second field is business tax ID and tax declaration number. For that field, you need to enter the tax declaration number found in your previous receipt, or it's found also in the tax declaration document that you have for your property, right? And usually that starts with like a letter like F, then a few numbers, right? So just make sure to find that in those documents and then type it out in that field. And once you finish filling that tax declaration number, then you press the search button. And then after pressing the search button, the system itself will display information about the property. So for you to verify, so it will show the owner name, it will show the tax declaration number, the number of quarters that have been paid. I believe this has been paid or to be paid, I don't know, whatever. And the location of the property as well as the address here. I guess location is like where the property is at, and then address is the address of the owner. I forgot which one's which, but it displays that. Once you're happy with the information, then you click on proceed. Click on the proceed button. That will bring you now to the next part where a lot of information is displayed, right? But you have to look for the field select a quarter to pay. So there'll be like a table, and at the top two items, select a quarter to pay and then print billing statement. There's two labels. So just under the select quarter to pay, you can actually select the relevant check boxes, like mark a check on which quarter you want to pay. There'll be options also for selecting the whole year. I remember it was 0 for the whole year, so you get to pay all the quarters. Or if you want to pay a specific quarter, make sure to select like the row that's labeled 1 for the first quarter. After making the selection of the appropriate checkboxes, then you have to press the header print billing statement. So So the billing statement will be displayed like in a formatted page, and you can actually print it because you'll need this as your reference when you go to the bank or prepare money to pay, you know. So aside from that, make sure to read. Oh, so you, after printing the document, then you can read the notes down below. So you can see below there's some notes. Online payment is for properties that are updated up to Q1 2020, and a 2% penalty per month will be imposed for delinquent properties. So you better watch out, you better pay on time. And if you have issues, there are phone numbers there. You just call those numbers. And it says there to make sure to pay the exact amount on or before the deadline. Although it doesn't specify deadlines there, but just make sure to pay it ahead of time. Before the deadline indicated in the billing statement. Oh, so the billing statement has a deadline. I didn't notice the deadline, but make sure to pay ahead of time. And then the payment should be deposited to or transferred to the Makati government's land bank account with details. So the information will also be in the video description below or on that website as well. Later on, you'll have to upload a copy of the deposit slip to complete the transaction, it says, and then failure to upload a copy of proof of payment may be subject to penalties. Those are the notes, okay? So at the end of this particular section, you would have already printed the billing statement, which you can use when you go to the bank or prepare money, right? So say, for example, you've already prepared the money to pay, then you have to go to any branch of land bank. And when you go to land bank, the branch of land bank, you have to make sure to get the deposit slip and make sure to fill up the information in the deposit slip according to what's on the website, the land bank bank account name. So it's account name is Makati City Government, account number 3452100885. So this is found on the website also. So I think that's the current account number, but double check because it will say there on the Makati Payments online thingy website the actual account number. But I'll put this information also in the description below of the video. Then after paying over the counter in land bank, you have to make sure to keep the deposit slip. Okay, in the deposit slip, actually also before you pay, I think the teller actually wrote the tax declaration number on the deposit slip also. So make sure that's written on the deposit slip as well. So make sure to keep a copy of that receipt of payment and from the bank, and then make copy it, take a picture of it, right? And then we come up to the next step. So that's done. You're done with the bank. You have your deposit slip already. Then you've taken a screenshot or a shot of the deposit slip. Then you have to go back to the process of the first steps about generating a billing statement. So complete all of that, but don't print. You don't need to print anything. Just complete the steps so that at least your most recent information will be displayed, right? And then you will now scroll down to the payment details section, where there's another form you're supposed to fill up, and you have to fill up the information accordingly based on your deposit slip, your contact information, as well as your deposit slip image that you're supposed to upload. So the fields are like reference number, which is optional, so you don't have to fill it up. Land Bank Philippines branch, so I put there put the branch where you paid it at, and then place the total amount paid. And then on your deposit slip, you'll have there the payment date and time, so you have to place that there also. And then you have to select the image screenshot of your deposit slip. Then it will also ask you for your email. What you do with it, the emails, you have to put the email so that you can get a confirmation email that the upload was successful of your deposit slip. And then you have to put your contact person and contact number, and then you press the submit button. Yes. And then after pressing the submit button, later on, I'm not so sure how soon it will happen, but you will receive an email confirmation that the upload was successful. It will say Makati Online Payments, good day, your whatever name you have. Thank you for submitting your payment details as follows, the date and time, payment type, real property tax, the amount, and it says there, this is subject for validation. Thank you, Makati Online Payments. And your process is done. So actually, I went to City Hall and I asked the guy there if that's the last part of the steps, and he says yes, that's it. Just make sure to keep your deposit slip as well as the upload confirmation email. You might want to store that somewhere so that if ever you need to pull that out, it's good for reference, right? That's the whole process. Anyway, I'd like to summarize then this new process for this year for payment of real property taxes. Actually, I think this started last year, late last year. So it made it more convenient for people paying their quarterly real property taxes. I would highly suggest you try to go through this process so that you don't have to even go to City Hall to pay stuff, right? You can just do this online, print your billing statement online, go to the bank and pay, and then re-upload the deposit slip, right? Actually, it marks a major significant change on how to pay stuff at City Hall, and it makes it easier for all the property owners in Makati, if you own property in Makati, right? So at least it's more convenient, right? I would like to congratulate Makati City Hall, the LGU, Abigail Binay, and all the people at the LGU for making this happen at the real property tax department, and for the IT department for running this, because this makes it easier for everybody. Actually, I really want all the other LGUs to do the same thing, because my gosh, what if you own property so far like out there, and how are you supposed to deal with paying these property taxes? You have to hire someone to do it, or you even have to go so far just to do it, right? Or find someone else to do it for you, right? Anyway, other suggestions I have some other suggestions. Since my background is IT, technical, project management, and stuff like that, I would suggest that if the City Hall can tie up with other banks, rather than just Land Bank, make tie-ups with all the other banks to remit payments to Land Bank, because Land Bank is the government's bank, right? So tie up with BPI, Metro Bank, BDO, so that people can pay there, and then payments get remitted over to Land Bank, right? That will make things much more easier. And then I would suggest the instructions found online. A lot of the instructions, although I can understand everything, and since I'm familiar with following things online and doing things on my own, it was easy for me to do. But I would highly recommend some changes and fine-tuning the instructions provided online, putting like step 1, step 2, step 3, so it's very clear what someone's supposed to do, because it wasn't too clear. And then in the fields, put examples of what they enter. For example, tax declaration number. Are you supposed to put just the number? But the number at City Hall also has a letter, so it's better if you put like an example that shows like FXXXX whatever, right? Which shows an example of what to fill up, right? And then also information as to what will happen after submitting the payment, or like there's no information about receiving a confirmation email. So it's better to do things end to end. So like after submitting the deposit slip online, then put some information there that you'll receive a confirmation email, so that you at least know that it was successfully uploaded for your reference. Anyway, that's all. I'd like to thank City Hall for doing this, and I really appreciate this. I thought I would have to go to City Hall. Actually, I did go to City Hall, and the lines were so long, especially because you have to go to these areas for lining up and getting your, what's this? For COVID, you have to fill up these forms. So there's a line there for getting the form, line there for people to validate the form, then going inside, you know, so the process is so long. It makes it more time consuming, and I saw that there were so many people falling in line just to get the assessment and then for payment. Anyway, Everything that I've said here, I'll place in the video description also, so you can just copy that and print it out if you'd like to. If you have any other questions aside from what was posted, feel free to contact Makati City Hall, and with your questions, all the phone numbers I'll place it also down below. And anyway, good luck in paying your real property tax, and have a happy 2021. Cheers.